What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, 25-0, 15 wins by way of knockout. He's 22 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 71-inch arm reach, and he plans to make a ring return for 2021 in April. With that said, another former world champion got whiff of the fact that Devin Haney says that he possibly could be going up to junior welterweight 140-pound limit. He's currently at 135, but he says if he can't secure these big fights, he could be headed north to 140. And a former foe, former world champion, Robert Easter Jr., he stated that he would indeed welcome Devin Haney to the junior welterweight division. Why is this interesting? Because Robert Easter Jr., 22 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 14 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, stands at 5'11" with a 76-inch arm reach. He will be fighting this Saturday against Ryan Martin, 24-1, on the undercard of former 4-division world champion superstar boxer Adrian "The Problem" Broner. Okay, with that said, Robert Easter Jr., he was a former IBF world champion. He lost that belt to 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. That took place back in July of 2018. And since then, he's been relatively inactive. He fought Rances Bartholomew in April of 2019. That ended in a draw. He fought and beat Adrian Granados via unanimous decision. That was in October of 2019. And then we haven't seen Robert Easter in the squared circle since. And now this upcoming Saturday night, he will be taking on Ryan Martin on the undercard of Adrian Broner's fight. With that said, Robert Easter and Devin Haney, they have a history, okay? Devin Haney, as he was making his way up in the sport of boxing, he was calling out consistently and persistently Robert Easter Jr. And Robert Easter Jr., well, he's kind of brushed off Devin Haney, saying that he was too young. He needed to build up his resume. He wasn't ready for that level of a fight. Devin Haney has been letting it be known that he feels like his skill set matches up perfect with Robert Easter's skill set and that he would beat Robert Easter Jr., okay? And he's been calling out Robert Easter for quite some time. And now Robert Easter is stating that he would gladly welcome Devin Haney to the 140-pound weight limit, okay? The junior welterweight limit. This would be a very, very interesting fight, to say the least. And this would be a high-profile fight. Should Robert Easter get past Ryan Martin this Saturday night, which I expect him to do, this would be a huge fight for Devin Haney. Devin Haney obviously is looking to secure a showdown with undefeated, unified WBA, IBF, WBO, Ring Magazine, WBC franchise champion, superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez in the undisputed showdown at 135. Teofimo Lopez, too, has stated that he plans on making his way to 140 as well. Now, we have Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor for undisputed. That is looking to take place sometime in May. It's looked like May 15th or May 22nd, depending upon what date 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez chooses to fight Billy Joe Saunders. If it's going to be May 1st, because he fights Cinco de Mayo weekend. Cinco de Mayo falls on a Wednesday. So if he's going to fight on May 1st or is he going to fight on May 8th? They're planning that around that date. If he fights May 1st, then they're looking to have the fight May 8th or May 15th. And if he fight May 8th, they're looking to go May 22nd. So with that said, the winner of that fight more than likely is going to move up to the full-fledged welterweight limit of 147. And they're going to be looking to challenge 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, who is currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terrence Bud Crawford. With that said, Terrence is the last undisputed junior welterweight world champion. And so you have the storyline of the last two junior welterweight undisputed champions going at it. They both will be undefeated. There's a storyline, and there's a built-in, historic event that would take place at that point in time. So with that said, that's the winner is looking to do. And then the loser of that fight, both fighters, Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, are very big for junior welterweight, and they both stated that they're looking both to move up to welterweight. So I'm expecting even the loser to move up to welterweight. So that means the belts will be vacated, and that gives an opportunity for Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney to move up to 140 and challenge for those belts. Like I said, Robert Easter was the IBF junior welterweight world champion at one point, 135 lightweight world champion, right? And so now he campaigns at 140. So with that stated, what's a possibility he fights for the IBF belt that's vacated, and Devin Haney gets the opportunity to fight Robert Easter Jr. for the vacant belt, right? And that would be a super fight, in my opinion, okay? Because both have high skill set. Robert Easter has a high boxing IQ. He's very rangy with 76-inch arm reach. He stands at 5'11", so he's very tall, very rangy, and he has speed. He's athletic. He has power. So you place him in the ring with Devin Haney, who's 5'8", who has a 72-inch arm reach, so he's rangy himself. And it makes it for a very interesting, high quality, high level, high speed chess match is what it's going to be. And there's a history there, right? Because Devin Haney has been looking to fight Robert Easter for quite some time. So, the matchup would be a huge matchup for both guys. Definitely would be the biggest step up. We know Devin Haney could possibly face Javier Fortuna in April. That's his mandatory challenger. And we saw his father training manager, Bill Haney, today. He was on the Boxing Voice with Sampson, who is the manager and promoter of, the manager of Javier Fortuna. And he stated that they are going to push for their mandatory position and they want their opportunity. And Bill Haney said that's the fight they want. They were talking about possibly facing Jorge Linares, but it looks like Javier Fortuna is going to be in that position. So this is a very huge step up for Devin Haney, Robert Easter, and it's a way for Robert Easter to make a name for himself, okay? To put himself back in the title contention. Now, me personally, I think that Devin Haney will win the fight. I think that Devin Haney is just more versatile than Robert Easter Jr., but this is a great fight for Devin Haney, okay? Out of all of the guys, the new crop of guys, you have the Ryan Garcias, Gervonta Tank Davis, you have Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and this crop of fighters, you have also Shakur Stevenson, and you have Christopher Colbert, Oshaki Foster. So you have guys, high quality guys. These guys are all very, very young. The biggest win out of all of these guys is the win that Teofimo Lopez got over a 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, and former 2-time Olympic gold medalist Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko. That's the biggest win out of all for all of these fighters. Then you would go to 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Leo Santa Cruz. But if Leo Santa Cruz was to fight Robert Easter Jr., Robert Easter Jr. would be the favorite to win that fight. So with that said, the biggest win would be Vasil Lomachenko. He would be favored to beat Robert Easter. But after that, Robert Easter would be the biggest victory for all of these guys. He would be the biggest name on all their resumes. So this is a great opportunity, in my opinion, for Devin Haney. If Devin Haney could beat Javier Fortuna, and then he goes in and he beats Robert Easter at 140, that speaks volumes, because most people thought that Javier Fortuna, who lost, Robert Easter beat Javier Fortuna back in 2018, January 2018, via split decision. Now, Devin Haney beats Javier Fortuna. Most people thought that Javier Fortuna beat Robert Easter Jr. Devin Haney officially beats Javier Fortuna, and then he goes into a showdown with Robert Easter Jr. That would be huge, okay, for his career. And then Teofimo Lopez, he stated that he may only have one fight. This fight, he's looking to fight his IBF mandatory challenger, an undefeated Australian superstar boxer, George Kambosos Jr. He's a superstar in Australia. Okay, that's why I'm saying he's a superstar. He's relatively unknown here in the States, but over in Australia, he's a superstar. So with that said, you put you put Teofimo Lopez, who's stating that after this George Kambosos Jr. fight, he's more than likely going to move up to 140. He says he's looking to challenge Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor winner for undisputed. But like I stated, the winner of that fight is more than 9 times out of 10 is going to move up. Both of these guys are going to move up to welterweight division. Okay. So with that said, unless this fight ends in a draw and then they do it again at 140 to get a conclusion to their fight and get an undisputed champion, I don't see either one of those guys staying at 140. They're going to go to 147. So Teofimo Lopez already stated that he plans to move up, and he have possibly one more fight at 135. So that means he himself is going up to 140, and that means that Devin Haney is not going to get his opportunity to fight Teofimo Lopez for undisputed. As we know, Teofimo Lopez could have fought Devin Haney right now, as the IBF stated that they would have gave him an exemption and would allow him to fight Devin Haney for undisputed showdown. But as Bob Arum, his manager, and IBF put it, he chose to go the route of fighting his IBF mandatory and George Kambosos Jr. So that lets you know everything you need to know. He's not looking to fight Devin Haney right now, and he states that Devin Haney needs to prove himself. So that's all but clarifies the situation between himself and Devin Haney. So with that said, Devin Haney may as well move up to 140. Opportunity against Robert Easter would be a huge fight. It would be, like I said, Robert Easter only has one loss on his resume, and that's to Mikey Garcia. And the draw he has to Rances Bartholomew, which he was inactive. Bartholomew was in there. It was a very, very weird, awkward fight. I thought Robert Easter should have clearly won the fight, but he just didn't assert himself enough. But he did against Adrian Granados. I was impressed of his showing against Adrian Granados. And let's see how he does this Saturday against Ryan Martin. But a fight with Devin Haney and Robert Easter Jr. would be absolutely huge for both guys' career. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds. But I would favor Devin Haney to win the fight. I think he's just more active. He's more versatile. I believe he's more skilled. He's quicker. He has quicker twitch fiber muscles. He's younger. And I would peg him to beat Robert Easter Jr., but that would be a great victory for Devin Haney. So let's see how this plays out. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.